Most people hear the word fasting and immediately think of suffering. They picture hunger, low energy, irritability, brain fog, and some extreme discipline challenge that only monks, biohackers, or people who hate food would ever attempt. That reaction makes sense because fasting has been explained poorly for decades. Fasting isn't a diet. It's not starvation. And it's not something humans invented recently. Fasting is a biological state your body already understands. For the majority of human history, food was not guaranteed. There were no grocery stores, no refrigerators, no alarms reminding you to eat every 3 hours. Humans lived in cycles. Periods of eating, periods of not eating. Feast and famine wasn't a strategy. It was reality. And instead of breaking the human body, those cycles shaped it. Our physiology adapted to scarcity, not just to survive, but to use it. Over thousands of years, the body developed systems that only activate when food is absent. Systems responsible for repair, renewal, efficiency, and long-term survival. Those systems don't turn on when calories are constantly coming in. That's the issue today. Modern life has removed the pause. People eat because it's time. They eat because they're bored. They eat because they're stressed. They eat because food is available. The body never receives the signal that it's safe to switch modes. Fasting isn't extreme. It's restorative. It's not about doing something heroic. It's about allowing your body to remember how it was designed to function. The first hours without food. When a fast begins, nothing dramatic happens at first. There's no sudden fat loss, no instant clarity, no magical feeling. What shows up first is hunger. And hunger feels urgent because we've trained ourselves to treat it that way. Most people feel hunger and assume something is wrong. They interpret it as danger, as weakness, as a problem that needs to be fixed immediately. But hunger is not an emergency. It's a signal. When you stop eating, your body isn't panicking. It's following habit. It's used to receiving food at certain times, and when that expectation isn't met, it sends a reminder. The key shift most people never make is this: hunger does not keep rising forever. It comes in waves. When you don't respond immediately, hunger often peaks, then fades. That moment alone changes your relationship with food. You realize you can feel discomfort and still function. You can think, you can work, you can train, you can live. Most people have never practiced this. They've been reacting automatically for years. Fasting interrupts that pattern. At the same time, insulin begins to drop. Insulin isn't bad, but chronically elevated insulin keeps the body locked in storage mode. Fat stays stored. Energy access stays restricted. Hunger signals louder. As insulin falls, the gate opens. Stored energy becomes available again. This is why fasting feels different from dieting. You're not forcing your body to burn fat. You're allowing it to. Hormones and energy. Around 12 hours into a fast, the body begins to shift hormonally. One of the most important changes is the rise in growth hormone. Growth hormone isn't just about muscle or performance. It's deeply involved in fat metabolism, tissue repair, joint health, protein synthesis, and cellular regeneration. Some people inject growth hormone medically to heal injuries. Fasting triggers it naturally. No supplements, no prescriptions, no hacks, just absence. As fasting continues, growth hormone continues to rise. This is one of the main reasons fasting does not automatically cause muscle loss. The body doesn't see fasting as a threat. It sees it as a state it has adapted to. During fasting, the body becomes more efficient. It shifts away from wasting valuable tissue and instead prioritizing preservation. Certain genes activate that spare muscle protein while energy is pulled from fat and recycled components. This is why muscle loss is more associated with chronic stress, poor sleep, inflammation, and insulin resistance than with structured fasting. When fasting is paired with resistance training on eating days, muscle preservation is the norm, not the exception. Your body doesn't fall apart when food disappears. It becomes smarter. Cellular cleanup. As fasting deepens, another system becomes dominant: autophagy. Autophagy is your body's internal cleanup and recycling process. Old proteins, damaged cells, dysfunctional components. Instead of constantly adding new material from food, your body looks inward and repairs what already exists. Think of it like maintenance mode. Over time, proteins become damaged. Cells lose efficiency. Waste accumulates. Autophagy breaks these components down and repurposes them into usable building blocks. This process is essential for longevity. It plays a role in immune function, metabolic health, tissue quality, and resistance against disease. And here's the key part: autophagy does not activate meaningfully when food is constantly present. It requires absence. This is why fasting is associated with improvements that go far beyond weight loss. People report better skin quality, improved digestion, reduced inflammation, and clearer thinking. The body isn't breaking itself down. It's renewing itself. Running on fat. As fasting approaches 24 hours, liver glycogen becomes depleted. This is where the metabolic shift happens. The body transitions from running primarily on glucose to running on fat-derived ketones. Ketones are a highly efficient fuel source, especially for the brain and heart. They produce less oxidative stress and provide steady energy instead of spikes and crashes. This is why many people feel mentally clear during fasting. Not jittery, not wired, just calm and focused. Hunger often decreases here, not increases. Ketones suppress appetite, cravings quiet down, energy stabilizes, inflammation drops, the digestive system rests, the gut finally gets a break from constant stimulation. This is why the beginning of a fast often feels harder than the later stages. The body isn't struggling, it's transitioning. The gut and the brain. Constant eating keeps the digestive system working nonstop. Digesting, absorbing, responding. Fasting gives the gut time to rest. That rest allows healing. The gut lining repairs, microbial balance improves, inflammatory signaling decreases. For people dealing with bloating, gut discomfort, or unstable digestion, this rest can be transformative. The brain benefits too. Ketones fuel the brain efficiently. Neurotrophic factors increase. Brain cells repair and adapt. Mental clarity improves. The heart also prefers ketones as fuel. Cardiovascular efficiency improves. Oxygen utilization becomes more efficient. Fasting doesn't slow the body down. It streamlines it. Discipline and control. Beyond the physical changes, fasting builds something deeper. You feel hunger and you don't immediately obey it. That builds discipline, not hype discipline, not motivational discipline, identity level discipline. You prove to yourself that discomfort does not control you, that urges don't dictate your actions, that you can sit with sensation without reacting. This changes how you approach food, training, work, stress. There's a reason fasting appears across cultures and traditions. Restraint sharpens awareness. You stop being reactive. You start being intentional. How to use fasting. You don't need extreme fasts. The most sustainable approach for most people is a 24-hour fast once per week. Dinner to dinner. Eat dinner one night, drink water the next day. Eat dinner again. That's it. This improves insulin sensitivity, activates repair systems, supports fat loss, and builds discipline without destroying your life or social schedule. Hydration matters. Minerals matter. Salt matters. Light movement helps. Walking helps. Stress management helps. Longer fasts can be used periodically, but only once your body is adapted and nourished. Fasting is a tool. Used wisely, it builds health, clarity, and control. Used recklessly, it becomes another extreme. So when you step back and look at fasting clearly, you realize something important. None of this is magic. None of this is trendy. And none of this is about pushing your body to extremes. Fasting works because it removes the noise. It removes constant stimulation, constant digestion, constant insulin spikes, constant decision-making around food. And when that noise disappears, the body does what it's always known how to do. It repairs. It cleans house. It becomes efficient again. That's the part most people miss. They think progress comes from adding more meals, more supplements, more routines, more complexity. But sometimes progress comes from subtraction, from creating space. Space for hormones to normalize, space for inflammation to come down, space for your gut to rest, space for your brain to think clearly again. And maybe most importantly, space for you to relearn what hunger actually is. Not an emergency, not a threat, just a signal. Fasting teaches you that you don't need to react to every urge the moment it appears. That lesson carries over into everything: training, discipline, focus, even how you deal with stress. You stop being controlled by impulses. You start making decisions. And that's why fasting isn't just physical. It's mental, it's emotional, it's even spiritual for some people. You choose restraint, not because you have to, but because you can. And over time, that choice builds confidence, real confidence, the kind that comes from knowing you're in control, not chasing motivation or relying on perfect circumstances. This doesn't mean fasting is mandatory. It doesn't mean longer is better. And it definitely doesn't mean ignoring nutrition or recovery. It means respecting cycles. Eat with intention. Fast with purpose. Train with effort. Recover with patience. That balance is what creates results that last. Not crash diets, not extremes, not suffering for suffering's sake, just consistency. So if you decide to try fasting, start simple. A dinner-to-dinner fast once a week. Hydrate, get your minerals, keep stress low. Listen to your body. And remember, this is a tool, not a rule. Use it to reset. Use it to sharpen discipline. Use it to reconnect with your body instead of fighting it. Because the goal was never just fat loss. The goal is control, clarity, longevity, brick by brick.